Alrighty, welcome back to another episode of the Beanieee Boys podcast with Moses and Doke. What's up, baby? How you doing today? This beautiful January morning.
Well, I got my mug here to kind of summarize my basic mood, and we got a souvenir mug here from Chincoteague, Virginia.
Ooh,
It's a cute little island on the Atlantic coast. Lots of horses there. They're beautiful. But I chose this mug because I need a vacation, Moses. I need a vacation from all this Notre Dame playoff New Year's Six bowl just doo doo. I mean, there's no other way to describe it. It's
I
just a mess. I mean, okay, positives, right? Notre Dame's defense, I don't care which way you slice it and dice it, it was a positive. You held Bama's offense came into the game averaging 50 a game, and they had Najee Harris, Mac Jones, and Devontae Smith are three of the top five Heisman finalists. And Devontae Smith is, I think, a shoo-in. So it's like what are you going to do with that kind of offense? Hold them to 31? Okay.
mean, I think they did pretty good holding them to 31. Clearly Alabama, came out of the game just they came in gunning, 14-0 in the first quarter. But
Well, the first three Bama possessions, they scored a touchdown on each one. But then the next six possessions, which would total the game, they only scored 10 points. So you see kind of an adjustment there, in-game adjustment. But on Notre Dame's defense really handled them, in my opinion. Once they got kind of used to that offensive firepower, and really made them struggle. I was thinking before the game, if they just make them look human, make them feel some sort of resistance that they haven't felt all year, it'll give the offense a chance to win the game. And I felt like that's exactly what happened. And the defense did everything they could to give the offense a chance to win the game.
But the offense just wasn't there. It wasn't. 14 points all game. 14.
Yeah, it's pathetic. And I'm sitting here and I'm watching the game, and it's not like it was not like Clemson in the ACC championship, because in that game we were just getting out physical, they were more physical than us, and it was like we're getting dominated. Notre Dame's, I think, best attribute is that we're physical and we control the line of scrimmage. But they just demolished us. Now, on the other hand, in this game, I really didn't feel like that was the case. I really didn't. I felt that Brian Kelly was leaning in too much into the time of possession game. Kelly really wanted to win the time of possession game because he wanted to limit Bama's offensive possessions, take as much time off the clock as possible, while scoring a Notre Dame touchdown.
Yeah.
Which analytically it makes sense, but you the more you hold the ball, the more methodical you are, really the more chances you give your offense to slip up and their defense to get a stop. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess so. But
he's talking about balance between big plays and holding the ball, and I'm like, man, can we just put the ball, can we focus on getting the most yards we can every play? Trust your defense a little bit. You know what I mean? Do the offense is supposed to do. What's your take on that?
I mean, I think that Notre Dame, obviously, that their offense definitely needed. I don't even know what to say. They just weren't all there. Honestly, I think if they just let them, try to get those bigger plays, not worry about the time so much, and just actually go out there and do what they do best, they would have had a fighting chance. But at the end of the day, I mean, we're looking at a 12-0 Alabama team coached by Nick Saban, who is one of the best, if not the best, college coach of all time.
Yeah, when I'm talking about this, I'm really just talking about them putting the game within reach. I'm talking about, and there's a couple plays that I could pick out that the game totally changes if Notre Dame if Notre Dame executes. Ian Book had a lazy pass in the third quarter, I believe, when it was only 21-7 and the Irish were driving down the field. He just didn't put enough on it. It wasn't really a forced interception. It was just a mistake. Mm-hmm. And it was in Bama territory, so that was really costly. And then there was a Notre Dame touchdown, which got called back because of a illegal formation.
Oh my gosh!
That sucked. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I mean honestly, it's discipline. That's what it is. It's discipline, and I think if
Yeah.
they had that other touchdown, it would have been obviously closer. It would have been,
Hmm.
people would have been like, oh, you know what?
And then
Notre
it's
Dame had a
like,
fighting chance, but like,
yeah. So there's a couple of plays here and there, but I think overall, when you're looking at the big picture, I really would just want them to play a little more freely,
yeah.
to not don't be worried about the time, just be worried about doing your job, man. Like executing every play, being creative, just being aggressive. Really, aggressive is the word. Be aggressive. Take it to them. I think if Notre Dame did that, that they would be in the game. I don't know if they would have won,
I mean,
but
yeah,
I feel like
I
they're
think
within a
definitely
score
there's a lot of
if they
chances for
do
them to
that.
have gotten closer, but like winning the game, I didn't see it. Don't get me wrong, I love this Notre Dame team this year. I thought if any of their past, years, like recently, if their best chance to win it was this year, it was this year. But I mean, just look at the Bama team, man. How many five-star recruits they got? How many,
Yeah.
players that are like, if they played on any other team, would be the best player on that team.
Well, that's just. I mean, Nick Saban is the best coach in college football and is making a run at the goat conversation because he's so unbelievably good at getting 5-star talent, getting them to stay in Bama and not go to the transfer portal, developing that talent, and then bringing it up when the previous 5 stars and 4 stars go off to the NFL. I mean, it's crazy the amount of consistency that he gets out of this program. I mean, you can't disrespect that. Like mad respect to that program.
I mean,
Um,
I hate to be like I love Alabama because I don't because it's
yeah,
Bama,
not a big
but
SEC, not a big SEC fan over here, but like you've been dominating that. That's the best college football
like
conference, and you've been dominating that.
you got to give respect where respects to you got to give it
Yeah, I
because
mean,
Nick Saban's just a great coach. You just nothing
I
you
mean, I'm
can't do
talking
there.
about a great defensive performance from Notre Dame, and they held them to 31. Like that is a good, and that's the lowest they've been. That's the lowest that Bama's been held to in 25 games, like 2 full seasons. Are you joking?
Yeah, that's actually insane.
Three, three out of the top 5 Heisman finalists are on your squad. I
I
mean, it's ridiculous. They're insane.
I mean, I have them winning it all. I really don't
Hmm.
see there even being a shot for Ohio State winning this.
Yeah. Well, we gotta hold off
Speaking
on
of
that.
Ohio State, Clemson, what
Wow.
the actual fuck happened?
Hey, not bad for the ranked 11th team in the country. I'll tell you that much. Not bad for the 11th ranked team in the country.
What?
Dabo's eating his words right now.
49 to 28?
That was a war
I
by margins, a worse loss than Notre Dame's. You know,
I
I
you
mean,
know,
seriously.
I said that Ohio State did not deserve to be in the playoffs. I said that. I
Yeah.
take that back.
Hmm.
What?
They just went out and proved all the doubters
49 to
wrong.
28?
Yeah. You're saying
Oh
it right.
my
You're saying it
God.
right, my friend. You're saying
Against
it
number
right.
2 ranked Clemson.
Hmm. Well, I mean, we were watching that Big Ten game, the Big Ten Conference Championship, and Justin Fields, his thumb was out. He was completely a non-factor. But oh boy, I can't remember his name, but the running back broke all sorts of records for the amount of rushing yards that he had and the just dominant performance by that O line. Like you could tell that they meant business. I was doubting them coming into that game, but after that game, they meant business. And man, with Justin Fields back, he's a player, dude. He's
Oh
just a
my
player,
God.
just a player.
Oh,
Put up 50, just about 50 against that Clemson defense. That Clemson defense is
oh my gosh.
dangerous,
Can't forget about
loaded with NFL talent,
oh my
loaded.
gosh.
I mean,
And you can't count out
gee,
Trevor Lawrence, obviously. The hair.
that's
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
And they held
Oh,
them to a reasonable, like,
28.
yeah,
28 points
to the
from
number 1 overall
Clemson.
pick in the draft with all sorts of weapons. That's yeah. Yeah,
Oh my gosh. Ohio
shocking performance.
State
Ohio State shocked the world.
proved everybody wrong.
hmm Tough for the ACC. Tough for the ACC. Ohio
I,
State just dominated that game. Nothing else to really say. I mean, Clemson had some good offensive efforts, but just
I mean,
domination by Fields and those boys.
I think that means Fields is going too.
Honestly, his draft stock rose so much.
I
So much.
I mean, I doubt the Jags are not going to take Trevor Lawrence because it's Trevor Lawrence and the consistency,
No, they're taking him.
and
Hey, hey,
he's
hey. If
going.
you want
But
to see us do an NFL mock draft, comment down below. Comment down below what you want to see us do next.
mock draft, who knows?
Who knows?
But
Oh, we're
I
full of surprises here at the Beanie. Just like the
here at the Beanie Boys
CFP.
podcast, we'll do anything you want.
We wear a
Just kidding.
beanie and we don't slander Luke Longley, but other than that, it's pretty much fair game.
Well, I mean, there's a couple other things, but can't say that on there.
Okay.
Uh,
I don't know what that means, Moses, but
don't worry about it.
excuse me, we have a college football national championship coming up soon. It is Bama and Ohio State. Moses, who's winning?
I'm still going Bama. That don't get me wrong. Ohio State came back, came out and shocked everyone. Like they it was close in the first quarter, but in that second quarter, obviously 21 points, absolute beast of a quarter. Like Justin Fields is going off. Like that man can throw a ball, that man can run a ball, that man can do anything with a ball. Um, so but at the end of the day, look, you got Nick Saban. You got 3 out of the 5 Heisman Trophy finalists. You have how many 5-star recruits? I don't even know at this point. All of them?
It's 12. The answer's 12 on Bama
Exactly. 12.
on the roster
12.
currently.
That's insane.
Yeah,
I'm
pretty much
going
the top
Bama.
of the country. Yeah.
It might be a
Um,
closer game, but I'm taking Bama.
I think it'll be a really, really good game, to be honest. I do not see a blowout coming, but so I watched Notre Dame play Clemson in the ACC championship little over a week ago, and Clemson was very dominant, especially on defense. As I mentioned earlier, they just were so physical and so athletic on the outside. I mean they were like that elite football team. And to see Ohio State win by that much was totally shocking. And combine that with the, in my opinion, lesser performance by Bama against the same Notre Dame team just a week later. And to me, I haven't watched Ohio State play a whole lot. I have Clemson, I have Notre Dame, I have a few other teams, but to me, that alone is Ohio State, in my opinion. I think winning by a touchdown.
You have Ohio State winning this.
Yes, I do.
Oh my gosh. No. No, no. I don't
Look,
see them beating a Knicks.
I'm looking at Alabama and Clemson, and it's looking like Clemson was actually a better football team, and then Ohio State comes out and just routs them. I mean, what am I supposed to do?
I
I
mean, but
mean,
like
exactly what I said earlier. Like, mad respect to Bama. They have one of, if not the best offenses in college football history. But you got to play both sides. Offense does win championships, but that doesn't mean defense is meaningless. Defense means a lot.
I'm pretty sure it's defense wins championships, but besides the point,
Nah. Nick Saban himself said that offense wins championships.
hey, you got to
And
quote Nick Saban, all right?
he's won a lot of them. I mean, when you're talking about like baseball, that's more there.
Yeah, but
Um,
not college football. That's for
no,
sure.
no, not in this day and age. Absolutely not.
Mm-mm. Uh, one quick thing before we go. Was the hit on Justin Fields targeting? I don't think it was.
I don't think so
He
either.
spun into it. He spun into it. I don't think
You're
it was
talking about
targeting.
that big hit, right, where he
Yep.
got totally rocked.
Yep.
Yeah, he didn't get targeted. He didn't hit him in the head. Like
That
this.
that was not targeting. That was
No,
maybe the worst call I've seen in many years.
I'm really sick of these refs, college and NFL. Like roughing the passer, you could blow in his ear like Lance Stevenson and get a penalty call.
It's
It's unreal. Like I was watching North Carolina and A&M, and an A&M defensive lineman hit North Carolina's guy pretty hard, the North Carolina's quarterback pretty hard, just as he's letting go of the football, and that wasn't called, which was right. But then there was a defensive lineman right next to him, another one who was engaged with the offensive lineman, and he fell onto the quarterback after the big hit, and they called him for rushing the passer.
like
He's engaged with the offensive lineman. He fell. It's not his fault. There's literally nothing he can do to avoid that penalty, and they called it.
I don't think they realize how
This soft call that they call on Justin Fields and all these boys in the NFL.
all right, don't get me
No,
wrong. That
it's ridiculous.
like obviously, player safety is very important and whatnot.
Yeah, but
But
there's some of these calls are
at
just
the same time,
unavoidable.
like you're really gonna call like these guys are huge. You know how hard it is for these guys to just stop? Like
It's sometimes it's not even that they're huge. It's just that like the game of football is taking them in a direction, and literally to try to avoid that direction is near impossible. And there's been dudes who've literally injured themselves because of these new like tweaked ankles and knees because of these new rules,
like
trying to not get an immediate first down for the opposing team. Like I don't, it's just a bad rule. I don't think anyone likes it.
I mean, I don't as a
Yeah,
fan of football. Like
I mean,
I just don't.
I want to protect the quarterbacks, like they're the stars and all that. And
But
I hate targeting. I hate it's awful when it happens.
it's nasty. That's dirty playing right there. But
Yeah, but like when it's just a really good hit, or a defensive player falls on the quarterback because he's engaged with an offensive lineman, that's not a penalty.
no, I think especially that Clemson and Ohio State. I thought that was a beautiful hit, and Justin Fields just
100%.
he spun into the hit like it.
He wasn't defenseless. He was not a defenseless
He went
player.
into it like I don't know what
Yeah,
to tell you. Like
he was making a move to avoid the tackle, and the defensive player just read it all the way and hammered him. And that's what
that's
you're
not
supposed to do. You're
that's
supposed
not
to,
targeting. That's good football.
yeah,
That's what
he hit
that
him
is.
with his
That's
shoulder.
good
Like
football.
none of his head was touched. He hit him in the rib cage with his shoulder. I'm like, yeah, it's a bad rule. Bad officiating.
It was done.
Yeah, it was done.
Alrighty, I think that's all the time we have today. So
We will be back. We have a huge Bears game coming up extremely soon, and playoffs are on the line. They are
next
on the
time you see us, we'll either be very happy or depressed. There's no in between.
Nope.
So from here at the Beanie Boys, we'll see you next time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Thank you for like the 10 people that watch.
12 subscribers.
12 now. Ooh, ooh.
12. You can't even count that on both hands.
Nope. Let's go, baby.